There's a study conducted in 1967 called Learned Helplessness, and in this, dogs were kept in two different groups. The first group was allowed to escape by pressing a button with their nose, and the second group was not allowed to escape. Both the groups of dogs were given mild electric shocks, which were within the safe limit but did cause some discomfort. The group which could escape did escape, and the group which couldn't escape had to endure through it. Then these dogs were taken to a separate area, a separate setting, where both the groups were allowed an even easier escape. Again, when they were subjected to these mild electric shocks, the group of dogs which had to endure it did not escape, even though there was an even easier chance of escape this time. But the group which did escape, or rather could escape in round 1, did escape again. What do we infer from this? We can infer that the dogs in the first group, which had to endure in the round 1, became accustomed to pain, so much so that they actually refused to leave even when they were given a chance to do so, and they developed this belief that they would not be able to escape simply because of the conditioning that they went through. There's a quote which I really like. I don't remember from where I got it, but it goes, "We get so accustomed to pain that leaving it feels like the uncomfortable part." Prisoners will literally commit crimes right after they are released from the jail. Why? Is it because they're inherently criminals? No, it's because they feel more comfortable in jail than literal freedom. Freedom feels more uncomfortable than the pain of staying in the jail. Now, whatever I said was facts and figures. How do we apply this to our daily lives? All the bad habits which we insist on keeping, even though on the face of it we do say that we want to get away from them, what happens is we internally end up feeling comfortable, even though these bad habits put us in a situation where we are not very happy. We are not actually giving ourselves any benefits by doing those bad habits, but we still find comfort in them. Isn't it similar to whatever examples I told you? Like, forget starting good habits, even leaving your bad habits and stopping this self-harm sort of a spiral, even this makes us feel so uncomfortable that we end up committing this act of self-harm through bad habits again and again and again. We get trapped in this downward spiral, and we somehow internally find comfort in it, and even we make these bad habits part of our personality, so much so that liberation from these bad habits and having actual growth through good habits feels like the real problem. Now, why do bad habits exist in the first place? Let me explain. Humans are naturally designed to choose the easier path. Why? It's for survival. Imagine you are in the caveman days. Food was scarce. You had to hunt to get food, and this made food actually pretty rare, and so we humans in those times had to conserve energy. To conserve energy, we needed to move less, and so we will choose the easier options so that we can reduce the energy expenditure and conserve more energy. And this habit has been passed on to us as a hereditary trait, like a lot of different other habits which we also have. But the problem arises when we look at the modern world. Does this habit of choosing the easier bit help us in the modern times? I don't think so. Usually what happens is choosing the easy route leads to a bad habit. You couldn't imagine a caveman satiating his hunger by having fast food, right? Either hunt or gather. The more difficult option would be to starve and die. It was literally easier to hunt and gather back then. But look at us now. Hunting and gathering is so obsolete, so unnecessary, and I'm not saying that you should go out and hunt. What I'm trying to say here is this theory that the easiest is always the best does not really apply anymore. You want to satiate your hunger, there's fast food. You want to play, there's video games. You want to communicate with people, texting is there. You have belongingness and love needs, sure, there's dating apps, there's all sorts of websites. But since these bad habits are a result of choosing the easier path, getting away from these bad habits feel like we are doing something unnatural, we are doing something wrong. That is the reason why we not only start doing bad habits but also stick to them so diligently as if we love self-harm. We find comfort, we find solace in this sort of easier, monkey brain, comfortable sort of a way, which is fine, it's natural, but is it beneficial for you? No. In this chase to comfort, we do not accept the fact that choosing easy doesn't work anymore. We do not accept the fact that we are literally sacrificing our future selves for just a few seconds of pleasure. Now, does this mean that there's no hope? Wrong. What you need to do is just be aware that these things are natural, but still they do not work anymore, and this awareness should create this sense of rationality in you, such that you will not choose the easier paths, but you will choose what's rational. Choose the easier paths when required and beneficial, and choose the difficult paths when required and beneficial. Understanding the incompatibility of the monkey brain in the modern world is very important, and this will basically allow you to judge things based on not natural or unnatural, but rather useful or not useful.